Hello everyone, back to a second video. Going to have a look at the weather for next week to 10 days in today's second video. So that's going to take around the 2nd of May. We'll be able to extend out beyond that the extended GFS ensembles. They run to around a couple of weeks. I'll look at CFS-V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. And we're not going to include the ECM ensembles in this video. That's going to be saved for the live stream. We're going to be doing live stream between 4 and 5 o'clock this afternoon. We're all going to get together within the Gales Lovers community, see how we're all doing while we're under lockdown. And we'll do a bit of screen sharing during that our live stream as well. And part of screen sharing will include the ECM ensembles from the Icelandic Met Office. Now, before I do anything else, I've got to say a big thank you to our latest channel member number 5. So a big thank you to, now I'm going to try and get this name right. Big thank you to our good friend Shriram Pamu. Shriram Pamu. Big thank you to you, Shriram, for becoming our 5th Gals Lovers YouTube channel member. Thank you so much for doing that. Shriram is also a patron and has given us a donation or two as well over the past couple of years. So big thank you, Shriram, for your ongoing support for Gals Lovers. That's really great. Thank you so much for doing that. So if you would like to become a YouTube channel member, all you need to come to the YouTube homepage or any of the videos, and you just click this join button just here, and that'll take you through to another page where you can then see what you get for becoming a Gals Lovers YouTube channel member, and you can sign up to become a YouTube channel member as well, and that's how you will become a Gals Lovers YouTube channel member. Some people have reported they can't see the join button. This is particularly so on tablets, I think. If you can't see it, then there is a link in the description with videos, so that will take you through to the join page in any case. So big thank you to all of our YouTube channel members, and special thank you to Shriram for becoming our 5th YouTube channel member, our latest channel member. Big thank you, Shriram, for doing that. Right, centering temperature, and we're currently standing at 10.6, which is an anomaly of 3.1 degrees above average. That's provisional to the 21st, provisional to yesterday, 21st of April. Still very substantially above average. As I was saying in videos a few days ago, I think we're going to finish up somewhere above 10.0 with CT for this April. Somewhere between 10.0 and 10.9 is what I would anticipate. That won't be a record-breaking warm centering temperature for April. This is the CT page at Gals Lovers. This shows every month's worth of CT data going all the way back to 1659. It's the longest and most reliable temperature record anywhere on Earth, although of course the further back you go, the more unreliable it becomes. So when you get back to like the 1700s and 1600s, and it's only a snapshot of what conditions were like back then. But if we come down to our more recent years, scroll down through the decades and the centuries, so of course this is 2020 just here. Now, the warmest April on record, I think we went through this earlier in the month, but I thought I'd explain again. The warmest April on record was in 2011 at 11.8. So very significantly above where we are right now. We're at, what are we at right now? I think it's 10.6, wasn't it? So yes, we're at 10.6 right now. And so to beat 2011, we would have to put on over another degree. We'd have to put on around a degree and a half, really, to beat 2011. We're not going to do that. So April 2011 is safe. We are not going to get a new CT record. Before that, the second warmest April on record was in 2007. At 11.2. That's a little bit closer to where we are now. I wouldn't completely rule out beating 2007. But again, I think that's quite hard to achieve, because I think the CT is going to come in somewhere under 11, somewhere between 10.0 and 10.9 is where I anticipate we're going to finish up with this CT. So we're probably going to come out, I mean, we've got 2014 there at 10.2, we've got 2009 at 10.0, And then for like a slightly warmer one, we got 1987 at 10.3. So I would think we're coming out somewhere around there, mid-tens, something like that, maybe upper tens possible. But we're not going to beat 2011. That's definitely off the cards. We're not going to put on a degree and a half and have a new April CET record. It's possible we could beat 2007, but I think it's quite unlikely that we will beat 2007 at 11.2. So it'll probably finish up something like the warmest since 2007. I would imagine there's a reasonable chance we can beat 2014 at 10.2. I think we're definitely going to beat 2009 at 10.0. So I would think this April is likely to be the warmest since 2011, I should say. But not beating 2011, probably not beating 2007 either. So that's where I anticipate we're going to come in with this April. Of course, a lot of people are speculating about whether we're having summer now, whether this is our summer. So we'll have more about that in a summer update. We're going to, at some point, well, not sure if it'll be this weekend or following weekend, but at some point soon, we're going to look at summers following very warm Aprils. Of course, we're also having a very dry April, so we will look at summers following very dry Aprils as well, when precipitation data comes through. But that's all for in the future. But of course, evidently, the two warmest Aprils of 2007 and 2011 were both followed by quite poor summers, particularly, of course, as we keep saying, 2007, which was an absolutely dreadful summer and didn't stop raining. So it's possible we're having summer now, but we will explore the data and we'll explore all of that in future summer updates to come. Right, moving on to the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next comes Wolverhampton today. So the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Wolverhampton. We're starting off significantly above average at the moment. It's still very warm out there. In fact, tomorrow we might be pushing mid-20s Celsius again down across the southeast, or like middle of London. Could get up to around 77 Fahrenheit. Through to the end of the week and the weekend, the temperature begins to slide down. It's a very, very gradual process, but slowly but surely we begin to shave off a couple of degrees day by day through the weekend. And so as we go into next week and through to the end of the month, then we're actually back down close to average, which is why I say there's no chance that we can beat 2011. We're too far behind 2011 for the CT right now. And we're not going to sustain the sort of temperatures we got coming up like today, tomorrow, into the weekend and next week. So there will be a gradual drop in temperature. That's why we can't beat 2011's record-breaking April CT. So we find the temperature sliding away a little bit towards the end of the month. And then after that, we stick very close to the 30-year upper air temperature average. The thick green line is operational GFS run from the midnight run. That's taking off a little bit at the end, but clearly that was an outlier. Now, precipitation-wise, quite interesting. So loads of dry weather coming up to the weekend, into the start of next week. Then the rainfall spikes are coming back. It's turning more unsettled through the course of next week. So we talked about this in yesterday's video, the transition to unsettled conditions, which the GFS was indicating for this weekend, has been pushed back. It's been pushed back to next week, but it still looks as though as we go through next week, we have got an unsettled trend appearing here. And then that carries on through the first week of May. So the first week of May is definitely looking cooler and more unsettled at the moment within the GFS ensembles. Temperature anomalies from the 22nd of April to the 30th, last day of the month, very, very close to average. If anything, could be ever so slightly on the cooler than average side, but it's not a particularly big deviation. That is with quite a warm start for the next couple of days as well. Precipitation on is still dry but average. Any change to unsettled conditions is later next week. So from the 22nd to the 30th of April, overall still drier than average. This is how the GFS is looking for Saturday. So on Saturday, we're under a very, very slight ridge of high pressure still, but it is weakening. This is covered by 5-day forecast, of course. Light showers could break out on Saturday, but I don't think that'll be particularly widespread. Sunday could see some heavier showers breaking out across England and Wales, and then into the early part of next week we start to pull down northerly winds. We have low pressure in the North Sea and low pressure out to our northwest. Winds are in from the north. That could be quite cool and showery as we go into the middle of next week. And then the second half of next week we begin to move actual areas of low pressure in from off the Atlantic. So this gets us to Friday the 1st of May, when we're starting May actually on a bit of a wet and windy note. And then up to day 10, looks like we're keeping unsettled weather going, and in more extended range, low pressure continues quite close to the country until late on, when the high pressure begins to take over to the northeast again, and to the north, winds go back into the east and start to push those areas of low pressure away. So as we come to the end of the first week of May, as far as we can get to Friday the 8th of May, we're going into something drier then. But we're also quite cool still with winds in from the east. This is how the GM is looking. So again, we have a risk of light showers on Saturday, probably heavier showers, particularly for England and Wales on Sunday. Early next week is cooler, winds are in from the north, still quite a bit of dry weather even then, but there would be showers around, particularly in more northern and eastern parts of the country. And then into the second half of next week, well, then we start to bring low pressure in from off the Atlantic. However, there is a bit of an influence from the Azores High. The Azores High is bridging into France. So for southern areas, not sure there'll be all that much rain really with this, but certainly in the north, we're bringing in rain-bearing systems from off the Atlantic up to day 10, which is Saturday the 2nd of May. That's how we're looking. Winds are shifting into the south, actually, becoming warmer. Perhaps a bit stable, though. Could be some showers, maybe even some thundery outbreaks developing there with the GEM. ECMWF, again, we've got mainly dry down Saturday, few light showers possible. Could be some heavy showers on Sunday. Into the early part of next week, we just gradually see this weakening of high pressure in situ over the country. And eventually low pressure starts coming from the Atlantic through the middle and second half next week. So this is more in line with what the GFS is showing, going into definitively unsettled spell with the ECM as we come to the beginning of May. We've got low pressure, proper low pressure to the west of Ireland. We're bringing bands of rain across the country. It's not particularly cold. Winds are in from the southwest, so it would be reasonably mild. But or maybe warmish, but certainly much more unsettled with showers or longer spells of rain as we move into the beginning of May. This is the precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from meteo.com. Dry today, and we've got loads of dry weather coming up over the next few days as well. A few showers breaking out there towards the end of the week across Wales and South West England. They're very well scattered. Up to the weekend, most places are looking dry. Now, over the weekend from Saturday through to Sunday, we just again see a few more showers breaking out. Quite heavy ones suggested for southern Scotland and northern England on Sunday afternoon and into North Wales. They might be a bit thundery. They could be a bit further north, they could be a bit further south than that. I'll pinpoint in 5-day forecast sort of northern England, Wales and the Midlands. But they could be further north, they could be further south, but could be some heavy showers on Sunday, and then into the early part of next week. Again, just some showery bursts around. We've got something here in the southeast, for example, Monday through to Tuesday. But then the second half of next week, we start to bring bands of rain in from off the Atlantic. So now this is beginning to go more generally unsettled. I mean, we come towards the end of next week now and the end of April, and we've got showers and longer spells of rain affecting many parts of the country. And this goes on into the end of April and the beginning of May as well. Look at these systems coming in off the Atlantic. The precipitation and rain on these areas of low pressure weather are gradually getting heavier. So by day 10, which is the 2nd of May, we're actually looking very wet there. A band of heavy rain is covering all parts of the country. That would be quite welcome rain, I think, down in the south and across much of the east, where it has been a really dry month, and in the north too. Most parts of the country have had a very dry April, so that would be welcome rain. And it does look quite heavy there, the wet weather on the 2nd of May. Bear in mind that's 10 days out though, so it is a long way away. So finally, for this video, CFS V2, these are 500 millibars heights broken down into weekly periods. The first weekly period takes us from the 22nd to the 28th of April. The coming 10 days, it has an anticyclonic influence, of course. High pressure is in control over all. The high pressure is gradually extending away to the northwest. So over time, it begins to turn a bit more showery. But generally, high pressure remains in control. Lots of dry weather in the week ahead. Week 2 is the 29th of April to the 5th of May. High pressure over Scandinavia, but quite deep low pressure in the Atlantic. This could well be a more unsettled interlude with bands of rain or certainly showers coming in from the Atlantic Ocean. However, it doesn't last long at all. By week 3, which is the 6th to the 12th of May, we're back to high pressure again. This time the high is sitting just out to the west of us, so it could be a bit on the cool side, that bringing in the wind from the northwest. But again, lots of dry weather would be expected. And then finally, week 4, which is the 13th to the 19th of May. Still an anticyclonic influence, above average heights, very close to the country. Maybe just gradually starting to turn a little bit more, not unsettled, but maybe just starting to turn a little bit more showery as that ridge is slowly beginning to weaken slightly. But, I mean, except for like an unsettled interlude, early May, beginning of May, it does look as though high pressure overall remains quite dominant, really, as we go into the final month of the spring of 2020. So, if we do get an unsettled interlude around the start of May, I wouldn't expect it to last all that long, and I've got a feeling we will probably find our way back to high pressure quite quickly through the first half of May. But of course, we shall see about that. Right, that's it for today's second video update. As I say, excuse me, as I say, we're going to be back this afternoon between 4 and 5 o'clock on the YouTube channel. We're going to do a live stream, and we can allow everybody to check in and see how we're all doing, why we remain in lockdown because of this horrible coronavirus. So we're all in lockdown, we're all stuck indoors. So yes, our Wednesday afternoon lockdown live stream will be coming up between 4 and 5 o'clock, and we'll see how everyone is doing then. So I'll see you a little bit later on this afternoon. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.